Hey guys, in the last video we created the user interface for our ChatIO application. Alright, so we didn't install, we didn't set up our application or anything. We just created the HTML file. So in this video, I want to go ahead and get our application up and running, and we'll start to work with Socket.io. Alright, so what we want to do is I'm going to go to my project folder and create a new folder, and I'm going to call it ChatIO. Alright, now as I said before, we're not going to generate the Express file structure. We're only going to have a few files. So the first one I want to create is the package.json file, which is the manifest. Okay, so just package.json. And we're going to open that up, and this is going to be pretty short. Okay, so we want to specify the application name, which is going to be ChatIO. Alright, the version is going to be version 001. And let's make this private. Okay, set that to true. And then we need to list our dependencies. Alright, so dependencies, we're going to, let's see, we need, of course, Socket.io. And that's going to be the latest version. We'll just use an asterisk. I'm not sure of the versions. And also Express. And that will also be an asterisk for the latest version. And that's pretty much it. That's all we need for our manifest. Let's go ahead and save that. Alright, now if we go to our git bash, so I'm going to go right into the ChatIO folder and choose git bash, and now we should be able to say npm install. Alright, so now you should have a node modules folder with the two modules. Alright, now what we need to do is create an app.js document. Alright, and I'm also going to bring over the HTML file that we created. Okay, so we're just going to load that file up directly. Okay, so let's open up app.js, and we want to include our variables up here. Okay, variable express, and that's going to be set to require express. Alright, and then we're going to instantiate it with app. Put a comma here. Alright, and we need, let's say, server, and we're going to set that to require HTTP, and then we're going to say dot create server, and then we're going to pass in the app. Okay, and that should be a comma. And then IO, I'm going to set a variable called IO, and that's going to be equal to require socket.io. And then we're going to say dot listen to the server. Alright, And I mean, I guess that's good for now. Yeah, that's good for now. All right. So now what we want to do is we need to set a port. So we're going to say server dot listen, and we'll use port 3000. Actually, you know what? We're going to be pushing this app to Heroku, possibly, and in order for it to run correctly, we need to have the port as a variable. What is it? It's 1 second. Okay, so it's process dot env dot port. Okay, and then we're going to put an OR sign in here, so it's basically listen to this value, and if that's not present, then use 3000. Okay, so locally we'll be using 3000. Heroku, the remote server, will use this. Alright, so the next thing, we want to load up that index file. Okay, so we're going to create a route here. So app.get. Alright, and the route we want to get is the home page. So just a slash. And then we want a function. Alright, and the function will take in a request and response. And then what we're going to do is use that response dot send file. And then the file we want to send, we want the current directory. We can use this dir name. And then we want to concatenate on the file name, which is index.html. Alright. So I think that this will work. Let's just save this and give it a shot. Okay, so we'll just say node app. And we don't have it to spit anything back out at us, so it looks like it's running. So let's go check localhost. Oops. Localhost 3000. Okay, error. Enonet stat projects. Oh, ChatIO. Looks like we're missing a slash. Oh, yeah. Put a slash right there. Okay, and we'll try that again. And there we go. There's our index file. Alright, so this is the actual file we're going to use. Like I said, we're just going to use some jQuery on the client side to add the chat functionality. Alright, but right now we're going to connect to our socket IO. Alright, so what we want to do here is use IO. Okay, we have that up here. Okay, we're going to say IO dot sockets dot on. Alright, so this basically works on events. So this is going to be on connection. Okay, on connection, and then we want a function. Alright, and that function is going to take in a variable socket. And basically everything we do that has to do with sockets is going to go in here. Everything server side. Alright, so let's start with the send message event. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we're going to use socket.on. Okay, and the event that we want is, whoops, no capitals, send message. Alright, and that will take a callback. Alright, and we're going to pass in here data. Alright, and then we're going to say IO io.sockets.emit. Alright, and then in here we're going to pass in new message, and then an object with MSG message, and that's going to equal data. Okay, the data that's sent in. Alright, so let's save that, and now we'll go to the client side. Basically right now I just want to see if we can just get messages going. You know, not the usernames yet. So I'm going to have to just take this off for now. And we can do that in the HTML file. Okay, I'm going to take display none off of the main wrapper, and I'm going to put it on the names wrapper. Okay, so that way, whoops, what happened? Oh, I think we just have to restart the server. Huh. Oh, it's this. Depreciated res.send file. Oh, okay. So we gotta just... we have to change this right here, this F, to an uppercase. Apparently that's depreciated. Alright. It's still showing the user. What is going on here? Oh, this is the wrong HTML file. That's why. This is the one we created outside of the application folder. So I just got to open up this one. So I'm going to grab that, cut that, and place it here. Alright, so for now, just ignore the whole username thing. I just want to get messages going. So on the client side, on the index.html, I'm going to go to the bottom, and I'm going to first include jQuery. Alright, so I'm just using the jQuery.com CDN, and then I'm going to open up some script tags. Okay. And we're going to first define some variables. Okay. We're going to use jQuery, so let's open up this with a function. Alright, so let's say variable socket. That's going to be set to io.connect. Alright, we want to get the message form, so that is going to be this form ID message form. So we'll say variable, let's see, we're going to use $signs, message form. Okay, and we'll set that to the element that has the ID of message form. And let's see, message form, let's also get the message itself, which would be this input with the ID of message. So variable message is equal to jQuery ID message. Well, you know what I'm actually noticing is that we didn't include the actual socket.io script. So we need to do that. So script src, and let's see, that's going to go to /socket.io /socket.io.js. Alright, because none of this would work if we don't do that. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to grab onto the submit event for the message form. So let's go down here and say message form dot submit. Alright, and then we're going to say function, and I'm going to pass in an event parameter here. And what we want to do is prevent the form from actually submitted. So we'll say e dot prevent default. All right, because we don't want it to do its regular action. And then we're going to say socket dot emit, and we want to emit send message. All right, and then let's see, the next thing is going to be what we want to send, and we want to send whatever the user types in. So we're going to grab message dot val. Okay, and that'll send along whatever the user puts in the message input. All right, and then we just want to clear that out after it sends. So we'll just say message dot val, and then we'll just set it to nothing. All right, so that should do that. When the message is sent, we want it to show up in the, where do we want it to show up? In the chat window. So we need to make a variable for that. Okay, so we'll say variable chat is equal to ID chat window. Alright, so let's see. Down here under the message form, I'm going to say socket dot on, and this is going to be new message. We want a function, and the function is going to get passed data. So we're going to take that chat window, we'll say chat dot append, and then basically what we want for the message. So we'll just have the message for now. Later on we're going to want the username, but for now let's just do the message. So we'll say data dot message. Alright, now if we go back to the server side, you can see we have socket dot on send message, and we're going to send new message with the data. Alright, so that's how these two are communicating through the socket. Actually, we want to put a BR tag here. We want a line break, so we'll just concatenate that on. Alright, so let's see what this does. Okay, so you want to restart the server. Alright. Okay, and we'll say hello. And there it is. Hello. And now if someone else can connect, okay, we don't have usernames set up yet, but they can in fact connect. And let's say hello world. Alright, now if we go back to the other user, you can see what they typed. We'll say hello again, and they'll see that. Alright, so we have this up and running. We just need to implement usernames, and that's what we'll do next.